Hey there, Vault Dwellers. Welcome to our latest Fallout 76 Dev Dive, where we take a look at improvements and features that are on their way to the game and chat about them with members of the dev team. This time, we're zooming in on the Night of the Moth update, which is currently planned for release on December 8th. We're going to explore the upcoming Mothman Equinox seasonal event and changes to public events, as well as lots of quality of life improvements. But first, I'd like to welcome Senior Quest Designer Carl McKevitt and Lead Designer Don Edgston back to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Doing really well. Happy to be here and really excited to go over some of the amazing features we have coming out later this year.
I'm doing good too. Looking forward to talking about Night of the Moth.
So let's get right into it. Let's dig into the Mothman Equinox event. Carl, before we get into how the event itself works, why did we choose a Mothman theme?
The Mothman is a very popular character of players, as I'm sure everyone watching knows. So we wanted to make an event that felt unique to 76 and also put that character in the spotlight.
We definitely have a lot of, Vault Dwellers who cosplay as Mothman cultists or are fully into the cult. And I think they're going to be pretty excited about some of the rewards and stuff that come from the event. But first, what can you tell us about the actual flow of Mothman Equinox, the objectives, what we'll be doing, everything there?
So the event takes place in Point Pleasant, of course, which is the home of the Mothman, and you help out a special sect of the cult, which is called the Mothman and the Wise Mothman's Enlightened. And the primary difference between them is that they worship the Wise Mothman instead of the other red-eyed Mothman that you experience throughout Appalachia. During the event, it's split into two phases. We've got the preparation phase, in which you help the cult prepare the grounds in order to summon the Wise Mothman, and then we have the ritual itself, in which the players experience some otherworldly effects of a special hallucinogenic dust in the air, while also protecting the ritual site from heretic cultists that want to destroy it.
You mentioned the Enlightened. What else can you tell us about them? Any characters you can discuss?
So the Wise Mothman Enlightened are a separate sect of the Mothman cult. Players are probably used to by now fighting heretics throughout Appalachia, the normal Mothman cultists as we call them. But the Wise Mothman's Enlightened are a new branch of their cult that is friendlier with players. But the specific difference between them is that they worship the Wise Mothman, who has purplish, pinkish eyes. Players have probably met him during the Path to Enlightenment event that's currently in the game. But they see him as kind of a guru and a teacher. And they do not follow the red-eyed pretenders, as they call them, or the normal Mothmen that you see throughout Appalachia.
Very cool. So, we've been having a lot of fun with this event in our internal playtesting, but it's also available in the public test server, and we've seen a lot of great feedback from the community there. For people who haven't had a chance to try it out in the PTS, is there any advice or words of wisdom you can share with them about it?
So the best advice I can give for the preparation phase is to look to the rooftops when trying to find the totems. We added some special effects to make them a little bit easier to spot, but just generally looking up will help you find those. During the defense phase, things get a little bit more interesting. You have to protect multiple pyres at once. At first, you'll only have to protect one, but then you'll protect two and eventually three. And the thing to keep in mind is that once the second pyre goes under attack, the attack on the first pyre will not stop. So make sure that players are trying to spread out evenly throughout the area, protecting all of them evenly. And this is important because the rewards you get are determined based on the number of pyres that are left lit. So you'll want to make sure that all three are still intact when the event is over if you want the best rewards.
So hopefully everyone out there will have enough folks at the event to complete the defense portions and coordinate a little bit. Although I think sometimes it can be a little like herding cats. So I mentioned the PTS earlier, and there's been a lot of great feedback shared there. Can you tell us anything about how the event has changed based on feedback?
Sure. PTS is invaluable to us. The main thing that we take from it is to get a player's perspective. We as devs playtest internally all the time, but the types of priorities, needs for clarity, general difficulty balance that comes from players is completely different and super helpful to us. So we made several changes already just based on kind of pacing, clarity, and difficulty based on the feedback that came from that. And I really can't express enough how helpful the PTS is to us and how thankful we are for all the feedback that we get.
The one other thing I wanted to touch on with Mothman Equinox is the cultist high priests. These guys are going to be spawning throughout Appalachia. Carl, what are they up to?
Yeah, so similar to the event, they use the moth dust to affect things around them. They work pretty similar to the way that the treasure hunter and other special encounters worked in the past, but they tend to modify the area around them a little bit more. Specifically, they can sort of take control of other hostile creatures in the area, and adds a special element to them that makes them look a little bit visually distinctive. This can cause some pretty wacky side effects, including if one happens to wander into a public event area. But we wanted to create a little bit more of a challenging, dynamic enemy that you encounter throughout the area. And they'll have some special rewards as well, some unique outfits and other goodies.
For everyone at home, I just wanted to call out that Mothman Equinox is a seasonal event. So like Meat Week and Fashnacht and many of the ones that came before it, it'll be live for about a week at a time. This first time it will be available for 2 weeks, starting December 8th after the patch launches. And then you'll be able to join the event in-game on the hour, every hour. So that'll be at Point Pleasant in the forest, like we mentioned before, and it'll be available for 2 weeks. Following that, we don't have an exact frequency nailed down just yet, but we're looking to run it about once or twice a year. So you can look forward to running Mothman Equinox fairly often. Awesome. And we've also had a UI change for events on the map. Don, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. One of the things we've always wanted to make sure is that players understood what they're getting into. So now if you hover over to a event on the paper map, you'll be able to see a preview of the kind of event rewards that you're going to get if you complete that event. It's something we've tried to move into. We've had it in daily ops. We're trying to move it into the events. We want to try to get that kind of feedback in for everything eventually.
Definitely love that. Just being able to click a public event on the map and see so much info about what's available there and how hard it is and all that stuff. So a good addition there, I think. So we've got lots of quality of life improvements coming in the Night of the Moth update. What's some of your favorites that you can tell us about, Don?
Oh boy. I think I think the answer to that question is also kind of, what players want, right? So I think looting is an activity that kind of everyone does, and they do often. So it's a kind of a great example of getting a lot of returns for spending time on improving something. I think the looting in general will kind of change your gameplay experience, especially for certain events.
So searching corpses, can you go into a little more detail about how that works?
Absolutely. Right now, when you go up to a corpse, you can only sort of search that one corpse and get the quick menu, or you can transfer items into it and use the larger one. But we've replaced that functionality now with, if you do press X and hit our new search nearby button, you're going to see not just the corpse you're looking at, but all the ones around you as well. We're still kind of tweaking the numbers on the distance there, but it's essentially sight range. It's within a reasonable amount, and that allows you to do things like, hey, I want to take just the ammo and do it quickly instead of slowly, or if I just want to look for any legendaries nearby, you can do that in even just a few seconds rather than the tedious task of maybe several minutes of running around and trying to find every single body that you killed.
It's definitely going to make life a little easier at the end of Radiation Rumble. I know that for sure. And some of these quality of life improvements, I feel like there's a little bit of a theme of sharing, not just team XP, but also legendary loot. Can you tell me more about those?
Absolutely. One of our key sort of design goals is to make sure that playing with other people feels nice. You don't want to see someone else and be like, oh, who's that? They're going to get in my way, or they're going to take my stuff, or they're going to be a problem. We want you to see someone and be like, oh, great, someone to help. So that extends obviously to a team, because they're intentionally supposed to be somebody who's there to help you out. And we don't want to have a case where you're mad because a teammate shot someone before you got a chance to. So XP sharing means that if a teammate kills an enemy, even if you didn't shoot at all, you get to share that XP. It is 50%, so it's not the full amount, but it means that it's not a problem if everyone's mowing everything down, because we all sort of share in the in the experience and value of that. And legendary loot sharing is a similar kind of thing. If you see another player, just a random stranger, and they're shooting a legendary and killing it before you even get a chance to, you don't want to think, oh, well, that person should have waited and shot it once and then let me shoot. That's not necessarily a fun experience. So if you can see that legendary, if you can engage into it, we're just going to, be generous to you and say that you get to share in the loot as well. And obviously, hopefully you do contribute.
Yeah, totally agree. I feel like the legendary creature tagging was a bit of hidden knowledge in the Fallout 76 community where, you had to wait, and it just felt a little bit like a secret complexity. And now that that's gone, it's going to feel really nice. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Our player base is so kind, so considerate that they will absolutely just wait. Everybody take your turn, and we've found that they've, in most cases, can continue to do that. But that's not a constraint we want to have on players. It's not necessarily a fun experience. It's something we want to congratulate people for doing, and hope that they never have to do it again.
So another highly requested community change, Pip-Boy colors. How did you and the team decide to make it so we can change those?
For all aquatic life improvements, we listen both to our internal playtests and to what the public is saying. We have a system to sort of stack rank based on the overall impact of a change or addition, taking into account how many people would it affect, how much is it going to affect them. Our goal is to, remove what we as designers call friction as much as possible. Also to streamline the experience to make sure players can, focus on the fun, but also in some cases like the Pip-Boy colors, they're just things that they just better the overall sort of experience of the game. You want to be able to customize that in such a way that it's easy on your eyes. So those are the kind of things that we target is things that will affect you more often than not.
It definitely sounds like a lot of thought has gone into which of these to give and when. But out of all of them, which one are you able to look at and go like, yes, I'm really excited that we can finally do this for players?
I think that's probably going to be the workshop new tab, which is seemingly a small addition, but I'm sure everyone who's watching this can sharing the experience of finding a new workshop recipe or buying something at Atomic Shop and being like, where is that? It's something where once it's in the game, everyone will be like, oh, wasn't that always there? But people that join later, but no, we had added that because it was one of those friction points that I was talking about, where there's always a moment there where it's like, damn it, I wish I could just find this easier. And that's the kind of stuff we like to get in and remove that friction.
That's going to do it for us this time. Don, Carl, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy schedules to talk with us about the next patch. Do you have any parting words for the community?
No problem. Glad to talk about it. There are still some secrets that have not been discovered with Mothman Equinox yet. So post those theories onto Discord. I want to read them.
Yeah, absolutely. We love the engagement, on Reddit and Discord and other channels, and we absolutely pay attention to everything that folks are saying, and we love seeing people enjoying the new content.
All right, thanks guys, and of course, thank you to everyone watching at home for joining us. Everything we discussed today is currently available in the public test server, and if you've got a Bethesda.net PC copy of the game, you can try it out right now and share your feedback with us. The Night of the Moth update is coming to Fallout 76 on December 8th, and until next time, we'll see you in Appalachia.